Elon Musk's alleged drug use and connections with Vladimir Putin have reportedly hindered SpaceX from seeking higher security clearance, according to a report. Following an investigation into January 6, the House GOP has
records seized by Israel show Hamas presence in UN schools. An advisor to the Prime Minister of Qatar confirmed to TASS that Doha has resumed mediation between Israel and Hamas on the Gaza Strip. Amnesty Israel confirms there is no genocide in Gaza, rejecting claims by Amnesty International.
Israel reportedly destroys 80% of Syria's military capabilities. The UN reports that humanitarian aid to northern Gaza has been mostly blocked for the past 2 months. A Chinese citizen has been charged with flying a drone over a key U.S. military base and NASA rocket launch site, taking photos. Israeli Navy carries out large-scale operation to destroy Assad regime's fleet. Qatar, Saudi, Iran, Iraq condemn Israel's dangerous land grab in Syria. The Hill comments, Russia's decline accelerates, thanks to Turkey and Israel in Syria.
In the United States, a hacker based in China has been charged with conspiring to develop and deploy malware that exploited tens of thousands of firewalls worldwide. Additionally, the United States has loaned Ukraine $20 billion from seized Russian assets. Furthermore, an alarming quantity of Texas Instrument chips has been discovered in Russian-based weapons in Ukraine, suggesting that the Russian military is purchasing U.S.-made chips through third parties.
Austria prepares to deport Syrian migrants after Assad regime falls, as European countries put Syrian asylum bids on hold after Assad's fall. In the U.S., criminal charges unsealed against 2 former high-ranking Syrian government intelligence officials for war crimes against Americans and other civilians. Some 250 Israeli strikes hit Syrian military targets after fall of Assad. Announced by reports, an Israeli incursion into Syria reaches 25 kilometers southwest of Damascus, security sources say.
The start of the conflict in 2022, as announced by President Zelensky. According to a report by Bloomberg, SpaceX is set to provide Ukraine with a wider access to the militarized version of Starlink at the Pentagon's request. In a separate statement, former President Trump called on China to play a role in mediating a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia, following the collapse of the Syrian regime.
Netanyahu asserts that Israel has no interest in confronting Syria, while simultaneously planning to double its population on the occupied Golan Heights, citing threats from Syria. This move has been described as Israel expanding into the Golan Heights, creating a new front in Syria. The U.S. requests Israel to authorize urgent military assistance to Palestinian security forces. Turkey claims that Syria's new rulers have agreed to dismantle Kurdish forces. Argentina's Milei reportedly receives Italian citizenship while visiting Rome, according to a source. South Korea's parliament has decided to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol due to his martial law order. A Dutch court has dismissed a lawsuit from rights groups aiming to stop arms sales to Israel. In the United States, the Department of Justice Inspector General has disclosed that there were 26 FBI informants at the January 6 Capitol riot, but no undercover agents were involved, according to the Watchdog's report. President Biden has commuted the sentences of 1,500 individuals, marking the largest single-day act of clemency in the country. Meanwhile, the chair of the January 6 committee has expressed willingness to accept a preemptive pardon from Biden if such an offer is made. In the United States, a group of bipartisan lawmakers is actively working to dismantle large healthcare conglomerates. As a result of this legislative push, healthcare stocks have experienced a decline. Additionally, United Healthcare has stated that the suspect in the CEO's murder was not covered by their insurance.
Syria's rebel leader has pledged to dismantle the security forces of the Assad regime and shut down the prisons. According to Reporters Without Borders, Israeli forces were accountable for the deaths of 1/3 of the 54 journalists killed in 2024. Belgium has been convicted of crimes against humanity. NVIDIA intensifies its hiring efforts in China to concentrate on developing AI-powered cars. Honda terminates its self-driving partnership with General Motors as the founders of Cruise Unit. NATO assumes control of military aid coordination to Kyiv from the U.S., according to a source. In the United States, a lawsuit alleges that the State Department has established loopholes for Israel regarding military aid and human rights, while Palestinians file a lawsuit against the State Department over U.S. military assistance to Israel. The BBC states that a plot to assassinate the Pope has been thwarted by UK intelligence.
Syria's former leader, Assad, claims he intended to continue the conflict, but his Russian allies arranged for his evacuation. According to the Financial Times, Assad transported $250 million in cash from Syria to Russia over a span of 2 years. Meanwhile, a prisoner who previously identified himself as a victim of the Assad regime is reportedly an intelligence officer, as stated by local residents.
Trump claims he called off his trip to Bedminster due to drones in New Jersey, while a drone detection system is now in place in New York following unexplained sightings. The UK is reconsidering social media regulation following the far-right riots of summer 2024 and is examining ways to compel more transparency in AI training models. Nearly 800 individuals have been apprehended in connection with a Nigerian crypto romance scam. Ukraine claims it's behind Moscow blast that killed head of Russia's nuclear defense forces. EU moves towards suspending visa-free travel for Georgian diplomats. First batch of US-made M1A2T tanks arrives in Taiwan. Pope reveals he was target of suicide bomb attempt during 2021 Iraq visit, and Pope Francis reveals 2 attempts on his life during 2021 visit to Iraq. US probes Spain for reportedly blocking port for ships with weapons for Israel. 10 days ago, shipping giant Maersk violated Spanish embargo on sending military goods to Israel, researchers say. Trump says Russia and Ukraine peace may be harder than Middle East. In the U.S., the National Retail Federation, NRF, and Happy Returns report predict that retail returns will total $890 billion in 2024. Hong Kong continues to hold the title of the world's busiest air cargo hub. Additionally, the report highlights a retail labor crisis, with 51% of employees planning to leave their jobs. In Syria to Xinjiang link, China warns leaders in Damascus not to threaten security elsewhere. UN migration chief tells AFP, not advising large-scale returns to Syria now. Human Rights Watch says Israel's deprivation of water in Gaza is active genocide.
Alberta introduces a U.S. border security strategy featuring sheriffs, canines, and drones, while Canada suggests a collaborative police force with the U.S. to address Trump's border issues. Trump remarked that Canada becoming the 51st state would be a fantastic idea. A New York resident admits to running a clandestine police station for the Chinese government in Lower Manhattan. China refutes the existence of secret police stations, following the man's guilty plea. In the United States, the Department of Homeland Security (DHS) has introduced a final rule to assist companies in filling more positions and to enhance worker protections within the H-2 programs. Additionally, the DHS has fortified the H-1B program, enabling U.S. employers to more swiftly fill essential roles. Meanwhile, Trump's transition team is considering the expansion of ankle monitors for illegal immigrants who are not in custody. Furthermore, a survey reveals that over half of Generation X parents are concerned about financially supporting their children into adulthood.
U.S. imposes sanctions on an entity and individuals involved in a virtual currency money laundering network supporting the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. U.S. targets North Korea with sanctions for backing Russia and advancing ballistic missile technology. U.S. imposes sanctions on drug traffickers associated with New Zealand.
Wealthy baby boomers will delay inheritance, Schwab survey suggests. A significant study demonstrates a positive association between coffee consumption and nearly 2 additional years of life. Mercedes-Benz presents a novel solar paint that could eliminate the need for daily electric vehicle charging.
Luigi Mangione, person of interest in fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, caught with manifesto, ghost gun and fake ID at McDonald's, and CEO shooting person of interest ripped insurance industry in manifesto, claimed by reports. Luigi Mangione suffered chronic back pain. Friends say he fell out of touch earlier this year. United Healthcare CEO was likely killed with a ghost gun that can be made at home. Bloomberg reports that a whopping $105 trillion inheritance windfall awaits U.S. heirs. As big tech profit growth slows, investors seek new opportunities. Notably, Apple is facing legal action for failing to remove child sexual abuse material from iCloud.
As former police commander, a year before the CEO's shooting, a lawsuit alleged that United Healthcare used artificial intelligence to deny coverage. Jay-Z denies allegations of sexual assault against a 13-year-old girl in 2000, along with Sean Diddy Combs. A compromised Ultralytics PIA package delivers a crypto coin miner.
"66% of businesses in India allegedly paid bribes to government officials in the past year, according to a survey. The government estimated that 1.8 million Argentines have emigrated since 2013. A think tank in the UK suggested that the government should compensate whistleblowers to combat financial crime.
Google requests the FTC to terminate Microsoft's exclusive cloud deal with OpenAI. In a separate case, a federal judge denies the sale of Alex Jones' InfoWars to The Onion due to a dispute over a bankruptcy auction. Additionally, a federal judge in the U.S. blocks the $25 billion Kroger-Albertsons grocery merger.
TikTok rewards its users by paying them to boost app downloads. YouTube introduces multiplayer minigames on playables. Amazon enters India's fast-growing e-commerce market by launching trials for 15 minutes grocery deliveries.
Defense minister has been formally arrested in connection with the brief imposition of martial law. In Brazil, Lula is recovering from emergency surgery for bleeding in the skull. Additionally, RFK Jr. is praising former CIA spy daughter-in-law for a significant role in the Trump administration.
Reuters reports that Syria's new rulers are backing a shift to a free market economy, according to a business leader. Analysts claim that China's Politburo policy shift has led to a surge in stocks and bonds, as the Politburo pledges escalated fiscal spending and support. China is also ramping up meetings with Wall Street as the Trump inauguration approaches. A new survey reveals that the majority of investors consider sports, gaming, and music rights too risky. Solos, an AI startup, has launched its smart glasses powered by ChatGPT, featuring Claude and Gemini as its AI assistants. Additionally, customers in 48 U.S. cities can conveniently purchase new Hyundai vehicles directly from their local participating dealers on Amazon. Furthermore, TikTok Shop has made its debut in Spain, marking the first step in its European rollout.
NVIDIA is facing a lawsuit alleging that it downplayed the significant impact of cryptocurrency on its success. The Supreme Court has granted permission for investors to pursue a class action lawsuit against NVIDIA. This decision comes after the Supreme Court agreed to take up the NVIDIA securities suit in June 2022, focusing on the company's compliance with pleading standards. Additionally, in the United States, Senator Elizabeth Warren introduced a bill aimed at holding capitalism accountable. Furthermore, Klarna Bank was fined a substantial amount of $46 million in Sweden due to a money laundering investigation.
Mathematicians made a casual discovery of two new infinities. In the United States, more colleges are set to close in 2025, despite the surge in applications to Ivy Plus schools. As by 2029, 80 colleges could close, even as elite Ivy League schools continue to thrive. Additionally, SpaceX is showcasing footage of robots being used to manufacture Starship rockets in Texas.
On YouTube, viewers globally streamed over 1 billion hours of content daily on their TVs, while they watched over 400 million hours of podcasts monthly on living room devices. Additionally, the FCC has opened the entire 6 GHz band to very low-power device operations. Furthermore, the Oscars ceremony will be streamed live on Hulu for the first time.
Sony Music has removed its catalog from the Africa-focused music streaming service Boomplay. Google has removed negative reviews about McDonald's following an arrest in the United Health murder case. 11 Labs' AI voice generation technology has a very high probability of being used in a Russian influence operation, according to a recent report. Additionally, Lukashenko confirmed the presence of nuclear weapons in Belarus, and it was reported that Putin had sent Russia's new hypersonic missiles to Belarus the previous day. Furthermore, the UN has stated that human trafficking has experienced a significant increase after a decline during the pandemic.
Warner Bros. Discovery undergoes restructuring to potentially enhance future business opportunities. Elon Musk envisions transforming SpaceX's Starbase location into a city in Texas. Intel executives indicate that a manufacturing spin-off could be feasible.
In the United States, the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, has declared that participants in reality television shows should be classified as employees. Meanwhile, Bloomberg has published an article where insiders reveal how a major IT company allegedly prioritized Indian H-1B workers over American employees. Additionally, Samsung has made accusations against India's antitrust authority, claiming they unlawfully detained employees and seized data. Reuters reports as Trump extends invitation to China's Xi for his inauguration, with experts labeling it as political theater. AP comments that China's Xi is expected to reject Trump's inauguration invitation, perceiving it as too perilous to attend. CNBC said, China indicates willingness to improve relations with the U.S. prior to Trump's inauguration. Switzerland is preparing to update its nuclear bunker network from the Cold War era. Allegedly, Russia is nearing an agreement with rebels to maintain military bases in Syria. 1 week ago, The Telegraph remarked, if Putin loses his target,